We've got $50, let's go ahead and find ourselves some profit. Starting off here with the capsule market, we've got a lot of data that we have not shown before, starting off here with the Paris application numbers. Now this is a brand new breakdown we haven't seen before in the terms of a graph overall showing you what's in demand and what's not. Very interesting enough, and we can actually see the breakdown per capsule. There's not too much really out of the ordinary here if you're looking at an overall capsule, but if you're looking at a specific sticker that you're trying to invest into, this data is going to be crucial to figure out if the one you're using is actually in demand, or if it's something like the mouse hollow, which is actually the lowest applied out of all of them, because even though it has status, it doesn't really have the application numbers to back it up. Now overall, Paris has not really changed. It's still in that struggling motion as we saw beforehand, where a lot of the capsules are still sitting around a very low price point for what we would want to see. When we're talking about Stockholm and Antwerp, things have not improved there either. A lot of these capsules really have hit this slump as well, and it's not too unexpected. When we see one of their competitors getting significantly cheaper, it's very hard for a capsule like Antwerp and Stockholm to succeed, especially in the shorter term right here where we're looking. I think long term, Antwerp and Stockholm are going to have a much more prosperous future than Paris, at least in this period, but I definitely don't think it's necessarily the worst or best investment to make. It's going to be very up to you and depending on how much risk you want to take on. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with the top link in the description. They're here to cater to all of your CS2 and Rust skins need, as they're the top place for buying on some brand new skins, selling off your old skins, or trading your new CS2 skins for some new ones as well. They've got everything, and transactions are taking under 30 seconds right now. They also offer the most competitive rate out there, as a massive 40% deposit bonus if you just top up today, and their selling feature is one of the best. With an instant cash out and many different payout options, there's no reason not to try them out today. Now if you saw the title of today's video, it says do not buy Copenhagen, and there's a couple big reasons we're going to be talking about that, but the first one is going to be this right here. It's time for my annual celebration of the currency that Valve screws up, and we can see right here that the currencies are massively out of place this year. Now if you want to look at the graph, first up you're going to be seeing two big gaps. That's because the Turkish lira and the Argentine peso, the two biggest culprits in the past, have actually been removed. Therefore they're no longer as big of a factor. There is a workaround, but we're not going to get too deep into that. But if you want to look at this here, we can see a massive difference between the biggest peak and the biggest valley on this graph. Now if you're someone that's on the euro, it's actually going to be very bad if you're trying to buy capsules directly from Valve. That's because you're going to be overpaying 7 to 8% in the current market, and it gets much worse than that if you're on the Chinese yen. It's going to be 10%, and if you're looking at a couple other currencies including the Costa Rican colon, it's going to be 11%, and there's just so many different currencies that are in the 8 to 9% out there. We've got the full list here. I highly suggest you find your currency and check it out. However, there is also currencies that benefit from this. The biggest one is going to be the Norwegian krone, coming in with a 9% discount. They're paying almost 1/10 off of what everyone else is going to be paying, which is absolutely insane. There's a couple currencies that also come close in this area. It's very interesting. During the Paris major, we saw an average capsule price of 25.69 cents USD. Here for Copenhagen, we're looking at 25.26 cents USD. Still over 25 cents the baseline, but it's significantly cheaper for a lot of things on average. Now if you're looking to make an investment into Copenhagen, where specifically should you be buying your capsules? Now this is a very controversial question because it comes down to personal preference. In my personal opinion, I think it's going to be more beneficial to buy your capsules directly from Valve for a couple big reasons. First up, you're going to be getting a kickback of the Steam cards and the Steam points, but most importantly, you're not going to be adding to the overall problem that comes with majors. The biggest thing is people are able to buy these capsules for cheap enough that if they sell them again on the Steam market, they're going to be making a profit, and unless you're buying them for a discount on the Steam market, there is no reason in my personal opinion to buy them directly from someone else, because that other person is just going to take that money, buy more capsules, and the supply is going to get extremely flooded. So what we saw happen with Stockholm, and even though Stockholm ended up being a good investment overall, it's because the overall supply and the overall people interested in investing at that time were significantly lower than it is now. It would not succeed in today's times. Now talking about the case market, I've just received a huge set of data that I can't wait to share with you in an upcoming video, straight from the people that come with the case supply numbers. But before they would get into that, obviously if we want to look at the case market right now, not too much has really been going on. If we want to check out the unboxing numbers, things have started to heat up a decent amount. We're looking at about 1 million cases a day, which is absolutely insane when we want to look at the past that we were sitting at around 20 million per month. Unfortunately, here in the short term, that really hasn't translated into any direct profits, because we can see that a lot of the cases overall, especially the cheaper rare cases, are sitting at a relatively stagnant price. However, if we want to look at the weekly unboxing numbers, we are sustaining this about 1 million per day, which is extremely good, because I think that means that a lot of these cases are potentially on the move rather soon. We don't know exactly how long it's going to take until they start moving, but I think as long as we continue this trend of continually unboxing these rare cases, which we know make up on average 40% of all cases unboxed, at least how it was last year, we can see that there is going to be significant profit to be made inside of this area as long as nothing changes. And I honestly don't think anything is going to change inside of this area. I think it's a very strong potential for your investment, and it's definitely something that you should make your decision though, don't just trust me. However, if there's one area you should consult me on, it's going to be hidden gems. Now this is something I constantly bring up because hidden gems are one of the best investments you can make, but I want to point you to a big pitfall that's going on right now with hidden gems, and that's going to be the fact that people are looking at already developed hidden gems. They're no longer hidden and they're trying to make investments into them. The biggest example of this is going to be the patches. This is one that has just recently come to mind for me because we have seen a significant amount of increases for patches just because the limited quantity of them out there, and even though the demand for them is extremely low, people have started to put status on them, creating more people to kind of FOMO into them as an investment. And even though they really haven't changed fundamentally, a lot of people are super interested in them. I would say completely avoid things like this. When something is already so developed and it's so expensive, it's going to be near impossible for you to make any money other than people buying in after you, because no one is really applying these anymore. It's more of a status symbol. And finally, we mentioned it before, but Dust 2 is officially back into the active duty, and this means a couple big things. First up, if we want to talk about the Overpass souvenir packages, there are 17 Overpass souvenir packages out there, including Copenhagen. If you have tokens available for Copenhagen, I would suggest spending them on the Overpass souvenir package because it's the only one that's going to be distinct, but I don't think it's going to be a smart investment for you to spend money to go ahead and buy tokens to buy Overpass packages, in my personal opinion. As for the Dust 2 souvenir packages, this is an area I'm not even touching. I don't think it's going to be worthwhile to try and get into it. Most of them are down roughly 30% from about a month ago, and I don't think they're going to have any easy path of recovery. The first investment I'm going to be making is into the Stockholm Contenders capsules for a couple big reasons. Now, I had to go ahead and check out the Asian RMR results because I saw this right here from Fano where he said basically Lin Vision wasn't going to qualify for the Shanghai Major. I went ahead and checked it out. They seem like they're on track to qualify. I posted on Twitter. It kind of went viral, but the thing is, if we want to look at Tai Lu here, they are struggling significantly. They are very unlikely to go ahead and qualify, and when we've only got one decent looking Tai Lu sticker in a capsule that already has a lot of success behind it, a lot of good stickers inside of it, I thought might as well make an investment into it because it's not something we have specifically in this portfolio just yet, and overall I really like this capsule. Second investment I'm going to be making is into the clutch case. Now this one's quite straightforward. If we want to look at the clutch case, I think it's one of the most potential on the horizon. It's a cheaper price point than a lot of the other cheaper rare cases. If we want to look at the unboxing numbers, it's still extremely strong, and a lot of people are worried about the Revolution case coming in and taking a large chunk of its market share, but it doesn't seem like that's necessarily the case. I like the clutch case. I think it's got a strong potential on the future. The third thing I'm going to be buying is the Sticker 2 capsule. Now this is technically a rare drop still because it is included in that, but if we want to look at it, it's nearly the #1 indicator of hype in the market, and as you can see right now, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily doing anything crazy. It's much lower than what we would expect to see for something in this area, and therefore I think it's definitely an area I'm personally looking at. We've got a couple of them already, and it's something I'm just making a double down investment on because it's still so cheap. Lastly, with the final box we have, I'm going to be picking up some Prisma 1 cases. This is just another similar thing to the clutch case. It's one of the cheapest rare cases out there. When the hype comes, the hype is definitely going to be hitting the Prisma 1 case, and the unboxing numbers and the supply on this already quite satisfactory for my personal opinion and our overall investment. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day.